And of course, that video was supposed to have amazing vibes that didn't come through, but that always happens when you are doing a presentation, right? So please reimagine the video with music. So what a joy to be here with all of you, the creative rule breakers and brand challengers, the kind of people that understand that to unlock new markets and to unlock new opportunities, you just have to unlock new ways of thinking. I am Belén Frau. I lead communication and positioning for Inca, the biggest IKEA retailer. And I am, beyond my job, I am a person that is very curious and a little bit nosy also, as you can see, about how brands today can show up in different ways, a little bit more daring, a little bit more unexpected, a little bit more relevant, and frankly, and this will sound familiar, a little bit less boring too. So, today, let me tell you a story. It all began with our founder, Ingvar Kamprad. He started selling small articles from a shed in Älmhult, Sweden. Despite this very humble start, he really had that dream to be the go-to place for people to find affordable furniture. As every great story, it started with a great idea. But this great idea was really grounded and rooted in purpose and in strong values. And it is key because this vision to create a better everyday life for the many people, it's something that sounds very simple, but it's very ambitious. And it really is more than a slogan. It is really something that guides everything we do. It's a guiding principle of how do we show up, how do we communicate, how do we take decisions. It really has the emphasis on the many, because we want to be affordable for everyone, not only for those that have budgets, but also for those with thin wallets. So create a better everyday life for the many people. It's really pivoting on the many. And I believe, and I hope that you agree with me, that in a constantly changing world, clarity on purpose builds trust. And trust, friends, I don't have to tell you, but trust is the main driver for growth. So, today, I want to reveal a side of IKEA that is just as Swedish and is just as focused on life at home, but maybe a little bit more surprising or less boring, as we say here. So, it's not about flat packs and not even about furniture. It is more about not about assembling furniture, it's more about assembling relevance. And it's really how we unlock new markets and new opportunities today. It is about cultural proximity, being present beyond physically, being present culturally, being present socially, being present emotionally. And now I know that you're thinking probably in the fractal bag, and there is high chances, because one thing I have learned is that every other home in the UK has a fractal bag. It's quite amazing. And even a Van Gogh that was stolen, I don't know if you read about this story, was returned back in a fractal bag. It is quite amazing. And we, of course, played with that. So I'm sure when I say IKEA, what comes to your mind, it's flat pack, it's those assembly moments that sometimes make it or break it in relationships. It's also about our dear meatballs. And yes, our purpose means today all those things that create a better everyday life for the many. I think you call it the wonderful everyday in UK. But our purpose is also about better connection. It's also about better access. It's also about better relevance to the culture that people are living today. Because people are changing. We are all living in smaller spaces. We are living more locally. We are living with less budget. We are living much more connected. And we are also living faster. So in a situation like this, what does IKEA brand do? Then takes a step and gets closer to us, to you, to me. And how? In many different ways. Through technology, here you see an example of drones, for sure. New delivery services, new brand experiences, new consumer experiences, new digital solutions, new customer meeting points, for sure. You know that we have popped up in the heart of many cities, like Stockholm, like Vienna, like Paris, and of course, in London, in Oxford Street, where you probably didn't expect to buy a Pax wardrobe before. So this is not all about convenience. This is IKEA saying, we got you, we hear you, we understand you. Life has changed, and we need to understand that besides you coming to us, we also need to come closer to you. And we are ready for that, to come to you with our meatballs, with our plant balls, and with a House of Fracta pop-up where you can personalize your Fracta bag. It's all about coming closer to you. And you know what? People love it. People stay with us. People get inspired. And people tell us, you know what? I really think that this feels more like IKEA. And that is it's a great confirmation for us. Physical proximity opens the door, definitely. But cultural presence earns the welcome. It's how we stay meaningful and unexpected. And to do that, one of the things that we constantly do is listen. It's having conversations. We run every year the biggest life-at-home study that it exists. We interview every year more than 38,000 people in more than 38 countries, because we really want to understand what is behind your ways of working, ways of living at home. We really want to understand what brings you joy at home. We really want to understand how can we make you live a more sustainable and more healthy life at home. And that's why we listen. And you know what? From those studies, we get some striking insights. One of them is that 48% of the people we interview, so almost half of the people, feel that their real life at home is not represented at all in media or in advertising. And this is a gap that we are definitely committed to close. So, what is it that we do? A lot of things. One of them, be daring. And this is something really unexpected. We went to Paris Fashion Week. And no, we didn't send the Billy bookcases and the catwalks. What we did is we showed up in Paris Fashion Week our way. Paris Fashion Week is a significant platform for design, for innovation, and for fashion. It's the place to be. But many young talents do not get access to participate. All the interesting events are invitation only. So we said, okay, let's show up in Paris Fashion Week, but let's do it our way. Let's invite the young community, let's invite the designers, let's invite them in. Because of course, fashion is not our industry at all, but we do know quite a lot about self-expression. We do know quite a lot about representation. We do know quite a lot about life at home. And we definitely know a lot about inclusivity, inclusion, and putting that in the center of the stage. So what did we do? We hosted IKEA Plus, is how we call it. And it was a 4-day cultural takeover in the heart of Paris. Talks, music, design experiences with a local design school, and a jaw-dropping photography exhibition curated by Annie Leibovitz. It was also featuring, for sure, her thoughts, but also the work of many young photographers that she did mentor herself, photographers from all over the world that we helped to be discovered and to be mentored by Annie. And you know what? This was one of my aha moments when we were listening to them, and one of them told us, you know what? This is the first time where I feel somebody with relevance has seen me, not my work, but me, the person behind the work. And this was so powerful, and it was such an IKEA moment, because IKEA is exactly about that. IKEA is about making a space for the many people, unexpectedly, yes, but also with a purpose. That's what these activations are about. They are not stunts, they are statements that culture matters, that identity is home, that creativity, when it's shared, builds trust. And the numbers just backed us up. In France, we saw a 25% uplift in brands recognizes me and it's relevant culturally. We also saw a spike in Gen Z this brand is for me data. And we were the top voice amongst the non-fashion brands in the Paris Fashion Week. So that means that it's not an isolated win. It's a strategy. After all, style starts at home, right? So the same goes for Milan Design Week. We don't show up in the Milan Design Week to flex our design muscle, or we don't create pop-ups just to run on the trends and on the wave. We are really present because we listen. We listen through our studies, as I mentioned before, but we also perform hundreds of home visits every year to understand what really matters to people. We listen through social media, we listen through customer comments, and we really want to be there in Milan to understand, beyond furniture, what home means today. And it's not just furniture, it's also feelings. It's chaos, it's calm, it's identity. And home is a little bit of mess lately also. Yes, and that's okay. So we bring our democratic design principles to Milan. And that is form, function, quality, sustainability, and price, for sure. And we bring these 5 dimensions of democratic design as conversation starters, not as product features. And then, of course, we bring, again, our meatballs, our plant molds, the music. We make it vibrant. And you know what? We show up because we know it pays off. This year, again, we were one of the top 3 voices in Milan. And we really beat our visitation goal, up 26%. We had 70,000 people going through our venue. So to be truly relevant today as a brand, you just have to be there. Physically, yes, but also emotionally, socially, and especially in these moments around us that sometimes feel a little bit changing and maybe not so certain and predictable. You just have to be there. Yet another example is London, and of course we are in London, so this was a must to talk about London. Ahead of our brand new IKEA Oxford Street opening, we teamed up with Lab 54. I'm sure many of you know them. They are specialists in party culture. And we really wanted to challenge the traditional concept of housewarming parties. Normally, housewarming parties are taken at home, but we understand that in a moment like this, when cost of living is really increasing, there is a misconnection with the term of home. So we decided to host 5 pop-up parties around London with over 1,000 guests and experience an immersive IKEA design experience. We decided to go where people are. So we went to coffee shops, we went to kebab spots, we went to libraries, and we really didn't want people to come to us, but to go where they are and to ensure they had a full immersive experience. We curated the spaces with Londoners to make sure that we were welcoming everybody. We had immersive experience. We had technology, in-store media, digital media. We wanted people to feel the same flagship energy that what you would feel in Oxford Street in the store. Maybe some of you got to go, and I would really hope so. So our goal was to connect with Londoners. Here you see one of the pictures of the party. That was also the video at the beginning. And our goal was really connecting with young Londoners and connecting them to the feeling of home and what home means today in a moment where cost of living is challenging and where habits are also changing. So we turned the idea of home, bringing it into the city. And you know what? The business case, it worked. It really paid off. 80% of our attendees were young people. And we really realized that the city store opens the door. But it's these activations that work, the music, the showroom, the experience, is this that really opens the hearts. They bring in new voices, new communities, new relevance. And that is how we build brand affinity today. Because being a bit punchier, or less boring, ends up being very good for the bottom line. And you know what? Beyond what happens in these events, we also take the opportunity to stress test a little bit our beliefs and our values to make sure that in a world that's ever-changing, they are still relevant. So you're thinking, okay, a lot of things, but what are you planning to do? Where do you go from here? Well, in a world that feels very uncertain, it's not only about being vibrant when we meet people. It's not only about social media. There is a lot more that we are planning to do. It's all about showing up with purpose. It's all about showing up with humanity. And it's all about showing up with useful joy. At IKEA, that means putting people first. At home, in the communities, and in the planet. It means standing up for what we believe, standing up for human rights, continuing to create fairer and thriving neighborhoods, meeting our coworkers' expectations for real change. So bolder climate action, human-centric technology, circularity at scale, and for sure it means champion equality, diversity, and inclusion, something that has always brought us success and that will continue to do. Diversity matters. So we lead with optimism, we lead with bold ideas, and we lead with a playful spirit. We have always done. Values are not just something that are internal. Values are promises. And I really think that the brands that are shaping the future and that want to shape the future need to have people first, need to feel people passion to be able to create profit. I actually talk many times about the new 4 Ps for brands, and that is people, passion, and of course, it's about purpose and profit. So I think it's about not just reacting, it's about showing up. It's about moving forward. And when we talk about showing up with purpose, it's not only about technology, AI, for sure that's part of the equation, but it's also about looking at the past and honoring the past and bringing those things from the past that make your brand be unique, and then creating that future based on those things from the past. So I really want to make an exercise together and have yourselves ask yourself, what if we dare to show up differently? Not louder, just more honest. Not everywhere, just where it matters. Not hectic, just authentic. I really believe that we need to stay bold and stay unexpected to stay relevant. So I here invite all of you to practice the what if all the time, because life is changing, and for that, we need to be leaning in and asking ourselves, what if? What if we showed up differently? What if we tried that? And not everything will work. We are not perfect either, but we will find a way together. So let me wrap this chat with a video that I love, and that is really nurturing the ability and the curiosity to be every day asking ourselves, what if? I really hope the sound comes with us this time. We really need it.
What if we could create a better everyday life for the many people? For the couples that turn into families, the children, the lovers, for the old ladies, the single ladies, the single mothers, and for those who need to start all over. What if we always side with the many by designing the price tag before anything else? What if furniture could be better for nature, better for people? What if we could make furniture out of waste? What if old glass could get new life? What if we could collect all these bottles and turn them into something else? Like this chair. What if we could plant more trees than we use? And what if we could use wood in new ways so that this tree and all of these trees could grow to be just trees? What if we turn the tables on food and make meatballs without meat? What if we turn the tables on tables and make screws that aren't screws? In fact, what if we lose the screws completely so we can put things up, take them down, and put them up again? What if we try to design new behaviors instead of new products? Better play instead of toys, and better sleep instead of beds? What if water taps could save water? and light bulbs could save light? What if all our stores could power themselves? And what if the best packaging is no packaging? What if we could make furniture out of air? What if we tried twice and failed twice? And what if we try again? What if we celebrate our differences? Because without each and every person, we wouldn't be complete. What if we never settled for an answer? What if we always ask ourselves, what if?
Thank you.
Thank you, Milan.
Thank you, MadFest. If you're curious to know more, in the QR you have the social networks.
We have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Take a question from our audience.
What
please.
if I had a couple of minutes? But I want
thank
to be
you.
the same.
Thank you so very much. Your insights have been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
There's a question here from which I'm going to paraphrase. You presented some great examples of strong focus on out-of-home and offline brand experiences with an example of the Milan Design Week, etc. How does digital fit into IKEA's strategy for creating immersive customer experiences?
I think the world today is phygital, so there is no digital strategy or physical strategy. There is an omni-channel strategy. So the same that today we were talking a lot about cultural presence physically, but the same that we're doing offline, we're trying to do online. We are probably more advanced in the offline, but we are also doing good things offline, and we have a fantastic community with our IKEA family members that are the ones that we interact more with, and we're trying to bring the same relevance with them.
Excellent.
Starting
and one last question, if I may. How do you discover and capture audience insights from partnerships such as the Milan Design Week?
Well, I think it's a long answer to that one. I think it's a lot about nurturing curiosity. So one thing sometimes takes us to others. So when we are in events, like this or like Milan Design Week, at the end we meet new people and partnerships come in a natural way. Like, what if we would do this? What if? And we are really having a wide variety of partnerships, because I think that's also about our brand. It's about being very inclusive. So we're changing every day, in every place, different partnerships, but we believe always in the power of putting creatives together.
Excellent, fantastic. Please put your hands together for Milan. Thank you very, very much, Milan. Thank you.